Welcome everybody. Where's my stuff share thingy? All right, welcome everybody. Nice seeing everyone on here. Nice connecting with stuff share thingy. Everyone here. All right, welcome everybody. We just found out Paul is from Minnesota. If you guys don't mind, please drop where you're joining from in the chat for us to see where you're calling in from. My name is Clement. Uh, I've talked to some of you before, and maybe you've seen me in one of the videos or the flyers or wherever you've seen me before. But this is me live and colored. Okay, we're getting Minnesota, we're getting Ohio, Virginia, okay, Dallas. Nice. All around the US, huh? So this is our project management webinar. It's been long overdue, but today the goal here is to provide information about a career field that I consider it a hidden gem. So it's been a career field that I feel like people don't talk about enough, especially with IT boom, right? So Fred is a friend of mine, a colleague of mine too. And we're going to be doing this webinar, provide information. We will share some resources. We will talk about our class and we'll talk about different classes online that you can take as well. But the goal here is not to sell you a class, right? The goal here is to provide the information for you. If you decide that it's worth it to join our program, that's good. If you decide that it's not something you're interested in, we did our job by sharing the information with you. But whatever you decide today, that's totally fine. So, quick background about me. Like I said, I'm Clement. I moved here from Ghana in my high school years, and I went to school for civil engineering. So after coming out, my plan was to just do engineering, go on site, build roads and bridges, and potentially move to Ghana and continue doing that. So when I went to work for our Department of Transportation, that's when a position came up in project controls. At the time, I wasn't too sure what project controls is, right? Until I talked to some of our colleagues, and they're like, "Yeah, it's project management. It's just that you focus on a specific section of the project management process." So I was like, "Cool, I'm gonna give it a shot," and I'm glad I did at the time because I learned skills that help me have flexible jobs. That's what I'll put it. Because as an engineer, I was always going on site, cold days, hard days. But with project controls, I had that flexibility to work from home, hybrid, remote jobs. So I did project controls for some time. During those days, that's when I met Fred. And from project controls, for me, I just like learning new stuff. So if you've seen me somewhere talking about data analytics too, I do data analytics as well. But even in my current role, I still work with a project management department. And everything that we are going to talk about here for the project management, the project controls, I'm the guy who just do a lot of back end stuff for them. But project controls, I've always felt like being in there, I've seen a lot of people without much experience. I've seen people with not much educational background get in here and they thrive. So I feel like it's about time to put this out here for our people to get to know about this career field as well. Because everybody want to get into cybersecurity and all these IT fields, but this field pays equally, six figures, if you put in the work. And I feel like the work is not as hard. And it's not hard to get into the field because it's not very popular. And I'm pretty sure for a lot of you, it's the first time hearing about it too. So I'll let Fred introduce himself and then we will take it from there.
All right, so my name is Fred. I also civil engineer. I came from Ghana from after high school to start my civil engineering degree. Started working as a civil engineer, met Clement, was working on site, same thing, doing managing project on site, construction management. So later on, as I always talk to Clement, he started this work as project control, and he spoke well about this uh, job he's doing. I mean, he's always working from home, chilling. I'm always going to sites, hot weather, cold weather. So I'm like, can you mentor me into this career? He said, yeah, it's easy. So just started doing some applications. He started teaching me some stuff, and then I also was able to enter into project controls. And then after that, I did my master's in project management to be aligned more with whatever I'm doing as a project control analyst. And it has opened a lot of opportunities for me, like a lot of jobs. I get like thousands of offers from LinkedIn and requests for interviews from LinkedIn all the time from recruiters. So I'm like, why people don't know this? Why is a lot of people always talking about IT? Because I tried IT, Linux administration. I'm like, I didn't understand a lot of stuff, but this is like something anybody can enter because on my line of work, I see people who did bachelor's in psychology, accounting, different fields entering into this field. So I'm like, anybody can do it. So we can also, I mean, help people to come into this field.
Yeah, thank you, Fred. I wasn't gonna mention the mentorship part, but since you said it. So when I met Fred, like he said, he was also doing site work, and like he said, he was trying to get into IT, so he normally complained about it. But I told him, hey, this is my work. I think it was in 2021. So I was
Yeah,
like, this was my work. If you want to do it, come home. I can show you what I do for you to get into it. So interestingly, I used to work for this one big company. And after doing some coaching with Fred, we set up his resume. He applied there. When I was working there, that the reason why I knew that you could break into it and be successful in it was because the lady who used to train us there, he didn't even have a college degree. She said she used to work at a gun range and somebody hooked her up with a job and she became the trainer. She was a high performing lady. So I told her, I was like, if this girl could do it and she's now the one training us, I think you could do it too. So Fred would always come around and, see what I was doing. Interestingly, after, setting up his resume, he applied for the company I was working at. They hired him, but the day he was starting was the day that I quit. Right. So, something happened. I got a new offer, but the job was also stressing me out. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take my talent somewhere else. And Fred was like, you were supposed to be training me on this job. So what am I gonna do now? I said, man, you're gonna get in there and you're gonna do well for yourself. And lo and behold, it's been what, 5 years? I mean, I've gone ahead to learn data and all these different things, but you've gone on to get a master's in project management on top of it and gotten your PMP, and you're doing very well in there. So, yeah, that's what I like to say, that everybody can do this, right? So let's talk about the job details here. The introduction is what we just did. So our plan here is to talk about what project management is. We'll talk about different career paths and different job opportunities that you can have in this field. We'll talk about what you can do to get into this field. And then we will talk about our program as well. And then we will take some questions after that. Uh, so in moving forward, I'm not sharing my screen here, am I? Okay, so let me share my screen. I thought I was. Can you see my screen?
yeah,
Okay, thank you. So, move. This is what I was mentioning, that we're going to talk about what project management is. We're going to talk about different career paths and job opportunities. We're going to talk about what you can do to get into the field. And at the end, we will talk about our program. Like I said, this is not meant to sell you a class. We are going to talk about a career field. If you decide to be in our program, that's fine. If not, that's fine too. So, the project manager, right? And I'm gonna let Fred touch on all of these. But whenever people hear of project management, they think about the project manager. Everybody hears project management. First thing they think about is project manager. But the project manager cannot do everything by themselves, right? It's the job of the project manager to oversee the project to make sure that everything is going well. And this can be a construction project, IT project, energy project. It doesn't matter. The company Fred and I worked for, which Fred came to work for, was an energy. What is was G an energy section? We were energy.
Yeah, it's
It
an
was
energy. Yeah,
wind turbines, yeah. And
yeah.
now you work for another energy company. I've worked for a construction company. And I think your company manages IT projects too, right?
Yes. So I
Yeah.
mostly do IT projects now.
Okay. So yeah, every project is a project. They all go through the same thing. But there's the project manager who sits at the top, but there's a lot of people built around the project manager. And that's the rules that people normally don't know about. So I know, Fred, you've been in a lot of these different positions since you started. So you can give us an overview of what these different career fields are, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So most companies or departments or agencies normally like to break the work down into different sections. So they hire for somebody to be a scheduler, and all you do is build schedules for projects. You meet with the project manager or the engineers or whoever people are going to undertake the project, and you just use a software which is mostly Primavera or Microsoft Project, but mostly Primavera to build a schedule for them. So that's the project scheduler. So builds and update project schedules, critical path and forecast. So project you just be meeting with them and just updating and telling them this is how far the project has gone, which activities are behind, or how far you're going with the project. And then there is a risk analyst. All the risk analyst also does is identify, quantify, and monitors risks, cost and schedule impact. So before the project starts, they can identify some risks which might happen on the project. So the risk analyst just tracks those risks, talk to the schedule team, and then make sure the schedule is not delaying or is not behind. If maybe they have to perform like excavation before they put the concrete and the excavation is delaying, that's a risk they have to identify and work on and see how they're going to mitigate that risk. And then there's an end value analyst. So end value analyst, I know Clement used to work at a place like that. So all they do is integrate schedule cost to measure performance. So CPI is cost performance index, and then SPI is schedule performance index. So mostly you just calculate all those kind of quantities and see how the project is doing, cost and schedule wise. And then you report it to the project manager or the project team. Sometimes you report it to the project director, not necessarily the project manager. And then an estimator. So estimator, all an estimator does is develops project estimate at different stages. So I work at Amtrak, I was an estimator. I don't do anything apart from estimating for project. So they tell me this project, this is what we need to do the project, this is what this costs. They'll give you everything. All you have to do is put things together and tell them how much this project is going to cost. So you can have a lot of projects, a portfolio of projects that you estimate, and then they'll send it to the government for funding. So all that I was doing is just estimating. I didn't do anything else when I was on Abstract as an estimator. I'm no more there, but I used to work over there. Then there's project control specialist and analyst. So that one kind of combine a lot of things. You monitor, control project cost, schedule, for performance by analyzing data, forecasting outcomes, and providing report to support informed decision making. So for that one, you'll be doing sometimes you'll be doing even estimating as part of project control specialist or analyst. So you'll be doing estimating before the project starts, and then you'll be doing the monitoring and control, building the schedule, doing all that at the same time. and it's the same as assistant project manager and mostly project coordinator. So for that one, you are helping the project manager. So you be supporting the planning, execution, managing schedules, and all aspects of the project, not just specific aspect, but all aspects of the project. Cost analyst only touch down on the cost side of the project. So you won't do anything schedule. All you'll be doing is just the schedule parts. Some people might hire you as a project scheduler and then later tell you, oh, if you know cost, you can take the cost aspect too and add it to your job. So that's the various sections of project management in most departments, most government agencies, most NGOs, even hospitals and everywhere have project managers nowadays.
Thank you, Fred. So I've gotten that question a lot. People ask me, like, is it enough to, let's say, be a project scheduler? Is it enough to be a cost analyst and all? And I always say that, yes, I've seen a lot of people who are just project schedulers and all they do is schedule. I've seen people who are cost analysts and all they do is do the cost part. It's just that I normally, based on my experience, I recommend that people, instead of becoming a scheduler or just a cost analyst, I recommend people become project control specialists. Because when you're a project control specialist, then you're doing, like Fred said, you're doing both scheduling and you're doing cost. And sometimes risk is just what is going to happen on the project, positive or negative. But if you do all these things, because normally when like the big companies, they normally, if a project is super huge, if you get like $100 million type of project, they can hire somebody who focuses on the schedules and they can hire another person who focuses on the cost because it's probably a lot of work, right? But majority of the time, and Fred, you can correct me if I'm wrong, majority of the time, if the projects are not big, the companies will hire you to be a project control specialist and you will do both of them. You do the schedules and the cost. Uh, Fred, that is your experience, correct?
Yeah, that's true. Unless maybe they have a lot of projects, so that's like programs, so like a lot of projects under one portfolio, and you're
Mhm.
managing all the cost of all those projects, which is not just one project, but sometimes you can be managing like 10 projects at the same time, you're only doing cost.
Okay.
But if it's only one project at a time, then and a small project, then you'll be managing both cost and schedule.
Okay. Yeah, so I would say if you're here and you're not a numbers person or anything, then uh becoming a project scheduler, that is the biggest one. But we highly recommend that you learn the cost and all the other stuff too, because it will make you more versatile and your chances of getting a job becomes very high. So uh, in talking about this, one thing that I also wanted to bring up to show you guys is that because I don't want us to just be presenting slides, right? So if we go to a place like I will do two Indeed, and then I will do my LinkedIn. Let me see. So if you're researching about these career fields, if you go on Indeed and let's say you search, I think project control specialist here or project controls analyst. Let me cut out my location so it can just show us everything we have here. You can see senior project controls engineer 95 to 180,000 a year. Because I know some of you probably ask, what kind of money can I make, right? This project engineer controls 80 to 95. That's normally around the entry level type of position. Project scheduler, project control specialist. Like I said, you see how some companies will have different job titles for it. So here it's saying project scheduler to project control specialist, 75 to 115. If we look at the job description, right, let me see if they will highlight specific job descriptions here. Familiar with project management processes and methodologies, WBS resource loading. critical path methodology. That's what they call it. I am trying to see one that will have a good job description uh, aligned here. But here, what is this saying? Let me to provide analytical support and execution and management acquisition, assist project office with execution of management of, see what I said, cost, schedule, and performance parameters, which is the earned value that we mentioned. Let me see. I don't like all these job descriptions that just write a lot of stuff on it, right? I'm looking for one with like bulletins. So something like this, responsible for cost budgeting and forecasting, which is the cost part that we mentioned, monitor project cost and budget. So it looks like this is heavily cost focused, preparing reports. Yeah, this is heavily cost related. But for a senior position, you can see it goes up to the 160 to 180K type of role. If you want to be a scheduler, like I said, you can just go into project scheduler. I recommend you learn the cost part though. But if you just go into project scheduler, you can see again, senior level pays up to that high. This didn't stay as a senior, but 120 to 150K here. This is Indeed. So I'm not just making anything up here, right? Develop and manage conceptual bidding and final project schedules, attend site meetings. This is a career field that I believe everybody should get into, right? Mostly 3 years of experience will get you there, which is what we do in our program. But here, if I go on LinkedIn and I go to jobs here, it's gonna be similar. If I go to jobs, how do you and I search project controls? All right, project control specialist here. If we look at the job description, develop and maintain project cost reports, schedules, forecasts, which is what we mentioned, tracking budgets, expenses, and commitments, utilize Excel to, compile, analyze, and present project data, So let me see if I'll find another one here. CPM scheduler, full time. If we go in here, right. A lot of these, same thing, develop and manage project schedules, support baseline scheduling. So that's the point I'm making here. Here, project controls are specialists. This is in Alexandra. If I used to live in Alexandra, I would have applied for this because why not? 150 to 180K in Alexandra, right? And they are, see how it says reposted the job. So if jobs are reposting, it means that they are probably not finding the right candidates, right? But
Or
if
maybe is it fully on site? Because
yeah,
maybe a lot of
people,
people go for interviews like I only want
yeah,
hybrid or remote, so people will not take it. So sometimes.
yeah, people don't like the on-site jobs these days, right? But and it looks like Wamada, so some government type of position. But this is not me making anything up. You can see. So if you go out there and you want to see, I always tell people research the jobs in your area as well, right? Go on places like LinkedIn, Indeed, the Zip Recruiter, which I've used sometimes too. If I go in here and let me see, if I search project controls here, and I search jobs here, again, why is it giving me it's bringing project manager for me. Cost analyst is here. So this is just cost. Like Fred said, program manager is in line with that. And it doesn't look like they're posting. Okay, I see one here in Stafford. I guess I have to log in to be able to see the information for that. Oh, okay. I see what it did. It's searching in my area, which nothing is here. So let me just actually let me do remote, right? Because I like remote jobs. That's what I'm always looking for, right? But if I go here, 110 to 150K, Fairfax, project controls engineer slash scheduler. This is what I was saying that a lot of these jobs, the scheduling is big in it. This is a hybrid 191 to 110. This would be like a mid-level position. When you see that 150Ks and ups, Fred, to be honest, when I used to do project controls, there wasn't money in it like that. Right? That's why I started learning data analytics. Because when I was doing project controls, anytime I searched for jobs, it was up to like 120. And now you guys are going into like 150, 160. And now I'm like, maybe I should consider my options, right? So I think now project controls is becoming a hot cake. And
Yeah.
the people are not, they don't get people to do the job. So it's like they have to push the money. I think that's what is happening now. Because now, if you see something like this, it means that it's probably like entry level to mid level type of position, right? Like I said, cost and schedule control, performance reporting, data reconciliation is collecting data on the project to, analyze and stuff. But
Yeah,
see how,
can I say something real quick?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times, like what construction companies are doing, because I work for a construction company, is that when they're more into in-house hiring.
Mhm.
So a lot of times they will groom their own prospects. They'll groom their own prospects and such that they get them as an intern from college, and then they'll follow, the pattern of either a superintendent or a project manager. So all of the other outside, career paths that you can have. So in this term, project controls, scheduler, a pre-con manager, they don't really, those are usually like secondary. Like you've probably done 5 to 10 years of normal like construction, as far as like project management, project engineer, assistant superintendent, or assistant project manager. And then you get introduced to these other aspects of construction, and then like you can decide to like you know veer off towards those directions. So I think more of the conversation is, getting people to, especially people that are in the construction company or in the construction industry, or, similar industries, that there are career paths in that, because that is not something that is advertised as much.
Yeah, and for you being, so you are a project engineer, for you being on site mostly, I guess
Yeah.
you guys have a scheduler that does the
Yeah.
scheduling and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you
So
see their job as tedious as yours?
it no. Their job is tedious in that sense, but as far as like rigorous, and stress, is not as stress as ours, because ours is, basically, we're day in and day out, we're hounding subcontractors to, complete jobs, but the scheduler, basically what he is doing is, and our company does it differently. They will come in about once a month or twice a month to the site, and they'll talk to the superintendent, or they'll walk the job. Okay, they see that, um you know roof decking has been put up, so based on what they see on the job site, they'll go and update the schedule based off of what they seen on site. But again, if you're somebody that doesn't know construction, you don't know what you're looking at when you come on site. Because I've had some schedulers in our company that don't know anything about construction. They come on site and they look completely lost.
Yeah.
They don't. Sometimes I have to walk with them and tell them that, okay, they'll ask me a question: has this been done? And I'll look at them. I'm like, you're asking me that this is done. if this is done, you don't see that it's already installed. They just don't know what it is. You know,
I
they don't
mean,
know what,
I mean,
ducting is. They
I
don't know
understand.
what.
I understand what you're saying. So when I
Yeah.
was in project controls, a lot of the projects I did, I had no idea what they were doing on site.
Yeah.
So I would provide an Excel sheet to the project manager, and I'm like, whatever you complete today,
Hmm.
fill it out for me. So they
Yeah.
will fill it out, send it to me, and I'll plug it in the schedule and
Right.
have my weekly meeting with them. I'll
Right.
tell them that based on the updates you gave me, this is this is how we are progressing. It was
Hmm.
my role to advise them on if the project is running late or
Yeah.
not. Because for us, we never even showed up to site,
Yeah,
right?
that was what I was about to say. You are even lucky they showed up to site. We don't show up. We just had a meeting or send you a
Yeah.
spreadsheet to do the app.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question here.
All right.
Okay, from what I hear, Fred said in the beginning, the beginning, and then a couple of what Clement you said. Then now I'm hearing Francis saying something. So now, is it a question for me to ask that? So with what Francis said, it makes it difficult for us who are new, just learning this course now, to get into the job market. So we're not gonna be able to get like like the entry level job is gonna be difficult because most companies like to groom up their own people from what, if I may understand well, is that what you were saying?
I mean,
Like to
that's his
groom up their,
company.
No, that is just a in my company, um as far as like the main two paths of a construction company, which being, eventually we all start as project engineers, and then there's tiers to those project engineers. There's an entry level project engineer, and then there's a senior project engineer. When you get to that point, then you branch off into two, either an APM or an assistant superintendent. And then from an APM, you go into a project manager, and then a senior project manager, and then project exec. From the superintendent side, from the field side, the field management side, you go from a project engineer and assistant superintendent, superintendent, senior superintendent, and then a general superintendent or an executive superintendent. But we have all these as in this regard: the project controls, the scheduler, the data analysis, the cost analysis. All of those jobs are available within our company, and usually, and I should have probably corrected myself. Usually, um, our company would like people that are in the company because they already have they're already trained in the company's ways, you know,
that's what I
to
was
yeah,
asking.
to branch off into those, but it is not advertised. So a lot of the young people that come into the company straight from college only have two job career paths in their mind, which is either superintendent or project manager.
Yeah.
But we do have pre-con department. We have a scheduling department. We even have a BIM department. You
So
know,
if I may understand you, does it mean that I'm not in your company now? If I finish this course and I think I can apply in your company for a project control?
absolutely, absolutely, because it's not popular. You get me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
People
what the point
people in the
Francis,
Mr.
company
Mr.
don't know
Clement,
that these
hold
jobs
on.
are available because they
Yeah.
only
Mr.
know
Clement,
PM,
Mr. Clement, please, can I
or
add something real
superintendent.
quick?
Yeah,
I
hold on.
just want to.
Hold on, Faisal. So the point Francis is making here, Paul, is that the company is hiring people and they're training them, but they're not building them into these positions. And this is
Yeah,
the point we're making, that that is good for us
Hmm.
because that's the problem a lot of companies are facing. Even one company that I got Fred to interview for, right? But he didn't take the offer with them at the time. They have the project controls department, but they don't. It's hard for them to go out there and get people. So a lot of their jobs are like recommendations because it's like, and a lot of the people that work in the project controls departments, they have like accounting background, business background, or that they don't really have any construction background or anything because a friend tells them about the career field and they decide to get into it. So either way, and with the program we will do, our plan is to set up our resumes to say that we've done at least 2 to 3 years of experience, right? I don't like for people to go in on this day to say they are beginners, because normally if you're going as a beginner, then you're looking for like an internship. But we're gonna learn with real projects, some projects that we've worked on our work that we're gonna bring, and then we'll use that. But I was making a point here that you see there's a 91 to 110K job, and the experience is 2 to 6 years. So if you go in with 3 years and you hit the interview, you're good to go. And that's the point I also made, that a lot of the projects that I worked on when I was in project controls, sometimes I didn't even know the project they were doing. It was just a matter of, hey, this is your schedule, let's build it, let's track it, right? So let's go back to the question. Who was asking the question again? Your name started with.
Faisal.
Yeah, go ahead, Faisal.
Okay, yes. So, good evening, all. God bless you all. So I just want to give, first of all, thank you, for your ad. I just want you to know the ad that you have on your Instagram, it works because I'm on the way to North Carolina, and I saw the ad and I saw the different positions that's available in this project management. Because I'm an assistant project management. I'm an assistant project manager for a civil engineer company, actually. So I've been trying to see what's available here. So the same week I saw, it was last week. Last week I saw the project controls and the different positions, and I applied. And I mean, jobs over probably 1:30 are now calling me. I'm trying to schedule for interviews. I don't want us to also think that our brother Paul, it sounds like you're very worried. And I'm saying that you shouldn't be worried at all, my brother Paul. How actually I got in here, I started with an HVAC company. It was an HVAC company. I did a permit coordinator for them for about a year. And after that, I transitioned into the role that I'm in now. And now with the project controls, I'm also looking at different I'm looking at different companies as well. But it's really just learning the language. And a lot of time we do these jobs, but we just don't know the language. At least for the most part. When it comes to now reading the construction or reading the plans, that's a little different. That's the construction side. That's the on-site type of stuff. But as far as the back end, being at home, looking at the screen, scheduling stuff, this stuff is pretty much, it's really easy. It's really people skills. It really comes down to people skills. So, Mr. Paul, I don't want you to be discouraged. And anyone here, there's nothing for you to be discouraged about. It's really people skills. If you learn how to talk to people, if you even some of your coworkers can even teach you or talk to you about these things, or your supervisor. I really just, it wasn't a question. I just wanted to add that in there, just so we can all be encouraged. Because sometimes you come in and you think, so all hope is lost for me. I need a PMP, sir, and I need all these things. You don't need none of that stuff. It's good to have
I
all of that stuff.
agree.
It helps, but it's really learning the language. So
Yeah.
that's why maybe conversations like this and things that our brother Clement puts together, just so you know what's out there. Because I'm in there. I came in as a civil engineer, project manager. I had no idea what they talked about, but because I have good people skills, but because my supervisor told me that because I'm so good, I pretty much, so the scheduling thing, that's what I do for the most part, but I also do the permitting side of it. So I kind of do two people's jobs. And he told me, a white man told me that I'm so good at my job that I should start a firm. you
Mm.
know, I should start my own firm.
That's
It's
great.
because, so but I just want us to encourage us. And I just want to say, God bless you, Brother Clement, for putting this thing together. And that there's money for everybody to be made, and we all make money. So God
Thank you,
bless you.
Faisal. Thank you, Faisal. And I'm glad all of you are talking about your experiences here. Just so you know, Faisal, Francis, none of this was planned, right? It's just people coming in and sharing the experience, and I really appreciate that. So, one thing I also forgot to mention was that all of these different kind of roles, if you're in them, I guess you sometimes your question is where can I go from here? If you want to be a project manager, that is a direct path to it. You can go from them to a project manager. Personally, for me, I'm not a big fan of the project manager position just because is, you're coordinating a lot of things at the same time. Always in meetings and all. But if you're that guy who likes the action, then it's perfect for you. But based on what we just saw on Indeed, you can see that now project controls specialist, when you become a senior, you can equally make that 150 to 180K type of money. So, which is what the project managers are making, right? So you don't necessarily have to go into a project manager to make big money now. That's what I was saying. Somebody said I should come back. Yeah, I actually interviewed with Dominion Energy. They were offering like 180K for a project controls position. I didn't take the job because they wanted me to be in the office 4 days a week. If they had made it maybe 1 day a week in the office, I wouldn't mind. But I've been working remote since what, 2020. So now it's like getting up and going to the office 4 days a week. That's tough for me. So, I mean, I always keep my options open. If something big comes up, why not? Right. So, I see questions here, right? If you are not an engineer, can you do project scheduling? Yes, project scheduling is in no way related to engineering. Sometimes if I guess some of us was in civil engineering, so our project controls, we do it in construction because that was our path, right? And like Buki said, sometimes let's say for him being a project engineer in construction, if you become a project controls person in construction, then a lot of the things will make sense. But Fred and I have worked for energy companies. We had zero knowledge about the energy stuff before we got in there. We just learned that career field and we worked right now. And just like Fred also said, a lot of the projects that he's managing now is IT projects, right? So now the project controls is in all different kind of industries. Based on the industry you go in, the scheduling, the cost analysis, all the fundamentals are always going to be the same. It's just about learning the field that you go into to do this. So, and I told you that company that I used to work for, which I recommended Fred to when they hired him for his first project controls position. The lady that used to train us, she didn't even have a bachelor's degree or anything. That's what I said in the beginning. She said she used to work at a gun range, and a friend hooked her up with the job, and she became our highest performer there. So I've seen a lot of people with not no engineering or whatsoever background. It's just about knowing how to do project scheduling, right? So, and from my experience, I feel like I can teach anybody to do it. I really don't see this is not like complex calculus or coding or anything. It's just about knowing the scheduling fundamentals. So I believe everybody is able to do it. PMP certification, if you want to get to that senior level in there, then I highly recommend you get that PMP certification later on. But in the beginning, PMP is not required. If you work 2, 3 years there about get your PMP, it will open a lot more doors for you. But obviously going in now, you won't have it. If you already have it too, that's a big plus for you, right? So I have great people skills and I've been applying project management. And how should I pivot into scheduling? Yeah, if you are already working in that aspect, then it comes down to just learning how to schedule. I mean, that's what I can see, right? Learning how to schedule and having the scheduling in your resume that you know how to schedule. And if you show up in the interviews, you can talk the scheduling terms, right? You're talking critical path, you're talking floats, activity relationships, and all these things. So learning, that's how you go about it, right? How important are certifications within the project management industry? So that's what I mentioned. When you work in here a little bit, get your PMP. You know, there are other certifications out there, but that PMP is the ultimate one, right? When you get your PMP, I don't think you need to even worry about other certifications. When we were looking on Indeed, those 150, 180 type of positions, having a PMP gives you that edge over there, right? If you don't have your PMP, I'm pretty sure you will not be able to get a job like 150 to 180K unless you're really good with your job. But when you get in, let that be your goal. I think everybody can get their PMP though. I mean, based on what I did, it's not a hard certification to get. it's not easy, but it's a lot of reading, and you have to understand the project management fundamentals, and you'll be good to go, right? So, and I think I saw one more question here. Currently a case manager and looking forward to get into construction. I hold BSc in economics. Okay, so without, since we're talking about project controls, if you're going into construction, I would say for job flexibility purposes, look into those roles that we were just searching on Indeed and LinkedIn. Project controls specialist, project controls analyst, project scheduler, cost analyst. All these positions up here, pretty much, right? You make good money, and the jobs are flexible. When I say flexible, these are jobs that, depending on the company you work for, some companies they will say, hey, you have to fully be on site, right? Some companies, like the ones that we've worked for, you can work from anywhere. I have recently within my company, I took on one project because I wanted to keep my project control skills active. I took on $110 million project. The project was in California. I did the scheduling and the cost analysis for it for a whole year. I never had to go to California. I actually asked them to send me to California, but they refused. I wanted to use that as an opportunity to travel, but they said they don't have the budget for it. So I was like, cool. I just sat here in Virginia and pretty much managed the project for them for the entire year. My role, I had weekly meetings with the project manager. Before that meeting, I gave him an Excel spreadsheet and I gave him all the activities for the schedule. I said, whatever you complete, mark it completed, put the time you started and the time you finished. So he would always send that to me on like Wednesdays. I'll update the schedule. We will have our Thursday meetings, and then we will, I'll talk to them. This is what delayed. This is what is ahead. Your project has delayed by this much, or your project is ahead by this much. And I'll write a narrative that will explain all the different things for him. And then he would take it from there and go do his meetings and all that. That's all I had to do. And honestly, this is not something I like to put out there, but I feel like project controls, if you get a good company to work for, if you want to finish 2 or 3 jobs, you can. I'm not saying go do 2 or 3 jobs, but I'm just saying it's doable, right? Because it's not tough, right? So I'll talk about the twos, but Francis first and then Beatrice. Go ahead, Francis.
So, as far as like the different workshops that we're going to be doing, can you kind of talk about, as far as, you know, learning how to learn how to use the different softwares, like for instance, P6 or, Excel or whatever have you. And also how we, for the people that kind of, okay, I know how to build a schedule, but do I know how to interpret it? Well, can you kind of speak on, what exactly we're going to be doing in those workshops and what is to be expected?
Okay, for sure. That was my next step here, so
Okay.
I'll talk about it. Beatrice, do you have anything?
All right. Yeah, I do. Thank you. So I wanted to say something about the PMP exams that you were saying. I heard a lady ask, I mean, I saw the comment on if you really need it. I think the truth is I wrote the PMP exams recently. And then with my little advice, I would say that it's good to get into the job before you write the PMP exams because the exams is all about like the job wise. So something like me, I was struggling a bit with, in the exam, we have three sections: the people, the environment. I'm telling you, if you are doing the job, it's the best for you because you can relate. It's not like the book, like I'm seeing people ask questions that you're going to help them with the certifications. The book's learning is good, but if you do the job for a while and you're writing the exams, you can relate. It's like as you're sitting in the chair, you're seeing yourself as a project manager and they're asking you the question and you answer. But if you say you want to get the certification with no experience, I think it will be tough. And I have friends that wrote it and they failed because they had no idea about it. So I was learning it before I started doing PMP, like, let me say 3 years before I wrote the exams. So I think the best way is start the job. If you get a company, that's good. If you're able to write it, so that's good. But it's tough when you have no idea. So I think that little advice is please get into the job, having a more experience so that when you learn, it will be easy for you. With that, as you see the question, because it's objectives, you can just answer. But if you're not working, it's a bit tough. Like you'll be thinking about it, like, hey, like what would you do if it's this? So that's the little thing I want to say. So thank you for that, Clement. And then also I wanted to ask you, Clement, because I think you answered already that I'm asking that based on I'm from a business background, right? And then I wanted to find out that so the job with the qualification that is saying engineering, can I still apply when I'm seeing that qualification is engineering, like bachelor's in science and that, or you think that one it doesn't really matter, or because it's engineering for your bachelor's, I don't need to go in. If you are from like, if I had business administration, please, I hope you understand what I mean.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
thank you for that, by the way. The PMP,
Thank you.
it has 3 years of experience. That's the requirement before you can write it. So yeah, some people finesse to get it, but like Beatrice said, if you get that experience first, I worked for at least that 3 years before I took mine. And a lot of the things, because it's case scenarios, right? So a lot of the things you have to do the work to understand it properly. But Beatrice, with job descriptions, right? The thing about job descriptions is a lot of times we generate job descriptions with ChatGPT. I've been in a position where my company said, let's create a job description for this particular role. And I went into ChatGPT and I said, we have a job like this, da, 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 da. Give me a job description. So a lot of the job descriptions you're seeing out there, people are not sitting there writing out those descriptions. So
Okay.
I'll say, I'll say like apply for it anyways. At the end of the day, if it's a project controls job, it comes down to knowing the project controls and being able to speak the project controls terms, right?
All
It,
right. Okay.
it
Thank you
doesn't
so
matter.
much. Because
Yeah,
sometimes when you see it, you get scared. You're like, okay, this is all about engineering. I have no background in engineering. So
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah,
So
And
just
then
yeah,
sorry, I wanted to top up with the PMP exams too. Before you register the exams, there's a project you need to send it to them, and then they need to approve it before you write the exams. So it's
yes.
always good to always have in a background because you need to show them you've done a project when you submit that, and then they'll approve it, and then they'll give you a date. So imagine you don't have any background; it will be very tough for you. So, I mean, thank you.
yeah, just one thing, Beatrice, just to encourage you. Currently in the construction company that I have, I've worked with plenty of people that don't have construction or civil engineering degrees. I currently work with an assistant project manager right now that is right now taking online classes in LSU for a construction certificate or degree or whatever. Um, he has a business administration degree, and he was able to get into it because he's intelligent and he knows how to do the job.
Yeah, business is actually a very good degree to have.
Yeah, it
Project
is.
controls, a lot of people have like accounting, cost, especially if you to become like a cost analyst, right? The cost side of things, they hire a lot of the business folks. So I saw one more person with the question. Is it Pelek?
Yes, good evening, everyone, and I'm really grateful to be here. So I'm trying to get started as a project manager. So I just got certified in psychology in Utah, and this is online. So I mean, I don't have any experience directly as a project manager, but I was a case manager and I have more than 5 years professional experience. So I believe I'm capable of learning or doing like scheduling, planning, and all of that. But I've been applying for a lot of jobs, but um, sadly, I don't know. They don't get back to me. So, can you give me any advice?
Are you applying directly for project manager positions?
Yes.
See, the thing about that, so from at least from my experience, for companies to hire you as directly as a project manager, a lot of times, I think Francis mentioned that too. A lot of times they have people with a good amount of experience in whatever the career field is, right? If construction says we're looking for a project manager to manage the construction project, they are picking somebody who is working in the construction field, probably somebody in the company already. If IT department says that we need an IT project manager, they're probably going for the one of those guys who have been working on those IT projects, right? The people graduate into IT projects. So in your case, I would say you can search more for assistant project manager type of positions. Your chances there is higher because then you get the opportunity to work under a project manager for some time before you get into the actual project management role.
Yes, I did apply for some assistance and junior or entry, but I don't know, for some reason it's not working. But
Are you getting interviews at all, or
yes, I did get a job though. I did get a job for junior project manager. The problem was it's too far for me because I'm in like Connecticut, but it was in Manhattan.
okay?
So it was quite a journey for me to go there.
Yeah, yeah. But in your case, I mean, not to be biased, but I'll recommend adding these scheduling, cost, and all that skills to it. And that will make you more versatile in the market. So that way you're not just looking for that project manager specific type of position. You can apply for all these different type of positions too. Having that project management will be a plus for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any referral or something?
So referral wise, and I'll talk about our program. We do know companies, we do know recruiters that we will recommend students to, good performing students. But that I always like to tell people, I only recommend people when I believe that they've put in the work, right?
Okay, I got
Because
you.
if I
So
go recommend somebody and they show up and it doesn't go well,
yeah,
that
it's
also
gonna be
ruins
on you.
exactly. Yeah.
I got you. So I stand out as a I mean my PA was 3-4. So and also the job every job that I went through the last job I was a case manager. I was promoted to PCICM, so under 1 year, so I got promoted. So I do a good job whenever that job that I get into. So not that I'm trying to sell myself, but that's true.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So let's talk about your path after this, and then we can see how we can help you. Okay.
All right then.
All right. So let me talk about our program real quick before.
I did ask a question on the chat. Did you see them?
Paul, what was your question? I don't see Paul. Okay. Different tools. Yeah. So that's what I'm about to get into. Let me go into our program. So the two main tools that you need for project controls, at least in getting started, one is Primavera P6 for project scheduling. You can build a whole career. A lot of the jobs that are saying project scheduler, if you have Primavera experience and you know scheduling, that will get you there. Some companies use Microsoft Project to schedule, but those are very few. Majority of the companies use Primavera. And then Excel, if you're going to be doing the cost analysis as well. Even scheduling, I always put, like I said, I put my schedules in Excel and I send it to the project manager to update it for me. So knowing Primavera and Excel, there are more tools that you can learn, project management type of tools, but Primavera and Excel will get you in a good position to start. So finally, I know some of you have bothered us a lot, but last year we decided to run this program because, and before I even dive into this, right? Last year we did these webinars, we introduced people to this career field, and then we like told people about it, and people are like, okay, we want to get in, how do we get started? So I did recommend a place that people can go take courses. Before that, I didn't even know the prices they were charging for these courses. But Plan Academy, if you want to learn on your own, I know my company has used this platform before for our new project controls folks. You can take classes here, right? But here's the case. Project Primavera P6, which is what you're going to use to do scheduling, is $1,000 course. Advanced P6, $897 course, right? And value management, $897 course. So these courses, are pretty expensive. So this is why, I know Fred always put that pressure that, if people are gonna go buy a scheduling course for over $1,000 just to learn on their own. This is an online course, so nobody's gonna be there to teach you, right? You're just learning on your own. Because the project controls classes, they're not out there like that. This is one popular place I know. If anybody knows about different ones too, we can talk about it. But the plan was, hey, if people are gonna go take an online course for $1,000, then maybe let's create a more comprehensive one that we can use to, help our people. All right. So that's why we came up with ours. So I mean, you think that if people are charging $1,000 for online course, we would charge more, but we kept the price around that too. So what we are going to do this time, we're going to run our class from March 4th to May 30th. So it's going to be 3 months. As I said before, if you weren't here, Wednesdays is going to be 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern time. Saturdays, we've scheduled it for 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern time. But if we start the class and majority of the students believe that a different time on Saturday will work for you guys, we can adjust it. We are flexible on the Saturday time.
I'm
So
just saying it now. Saturday, the 10 o'clock is too early for me. That's 9 o'clock.
yeah, because we thought people have a lot of things to do on Saturday, so maybe if we knock it out early. But that's what I said. If we start the class, we can adjust that, right? So this is our website here. I'll put that in the chat too. And I'll go through all our syllabus and everything. If you go in here, we have an option to enroll, pay for, if you sign up for, if you click sign up for the class, if you pay in full, it's $1,000. If you can do 3 months payment plan. We always believe in our class, so we are like 3 months, I guess if you start the 3 months and you feel like the class is not for you, if you reach out, I'll cancel the payment plan for you, and then you can drop out of the class. All right. So I'm saying that to say, if people are charging this much for an online class, I think we are fair with what we are charging. And what we are gonna do is we are gonna start with the introduction to project management. We will teach the project management fundamentals. This is what we will teach the different sessions of project management, the different methodologies in there. And from there, we will graduate into the scheduling. So the plan is to not just teach you the tool, right? But to teach you what goes into project scheduling. And then we learn all that, and then we will use the knowledge we obtained there to learn Primavera P6. This is where we will bring real world projects. We will do scheduling in P6. We will set up baselines, forecasts. We will advance schedules, everything that you do as a project controls analyst. So the scheduling part will be the biggest part of the class. And then we will learn cost estimating and budgeting. Like I said, you can have a career around scheduling only, but we recommend that you learn the cost part too. So we will learn cost estimating and budgeting. This is where for every project, before we start, we have to determine that this is how much the project is going to cost us, right? So we do this. Yes. So all the scheduling that we're going to learn here, we're going to give you guys assignments. We're going to have a project to work on. So you guys will have practice and resources. And that's what I always recommend. If you've taken my class before, practice, practice, practice. That's what gets you, that's what makes you successful, right? So we will do the cost estimating and budgeting, which is setting up the initial budget for the projects, and then we will graduate into the cost control part. Cost control is when the project is in progress and we are doing it, we have to determine that let's say if we have $1 million to spend on a project, right? That was our budget. The project was supposed to last 1 year. We are 6 months into the project, but we've already spent $800,000 out of the 1 million. Clearly, we are running over budget because we've only done half of the project, but we spent 80% of the money, right? So we're going to learn how that cost control works and use that to learn end value management. End value management is where we calculate the metrics, schedule performance indicators, cost performance indicators to determine how the project is performing. All right. So from there, we are going to do reporting, schedule and financial reporting. This is where at the end of every month or at the end of every cycle, some companies do it weekly, some companies do it monthly. At the end of the cycle, you send out reports. Your report is going to state how the schedule is doing. Your report is going to state how the cost is doing, if the project is lacking behind and all that. So everything we've learned that before, we're going to learn you how to build these reports. Mostly the templates are already there and you plug them into it, but we're going to learn how to do all that. And the goal here is that if you do all these and you show up in an interview, because we are going to write a resume that's going to say you have at least 3 years of experience, right? If you show up in an interview and you can comfortably say you've done schedule, you've done cost analysis, you've done schedule and financial reporting, and you're able to speak these terms, nobody's going to doubt you. I know that if you learn, you can do it because, as Fred mentioned in the beginning, he used to come to my house, and when I was doing the work, he would see it. I would explain it to him. When he showed up in an interview, he had no problems explaining himself, right? So the terms are the same everywhere you go, right? A float is a float, a critical path is a critical path. But I've interviewed at least 100 people in project controls, right? For my company. Even now that I work in data, when they're doing interviews for project controls folks, they invite me to sit in them. I've interviewed at least 100 people. I know all the questions we ask. A lot of times, people come and you ask them these same questions and they have no idea. So it kind of sounds to me like a lot of people, they build their resume because they've heard that this is an easy field to get into. They build their resume, they show up in the interviews, you ask them the simple terms and they can't answer you. Fred has been through the interview processes as well. So we are going to use all that experience to do the mentorship. So here, we are going to introduce you guys to Power BI, which is tools. Now, I'm a Power BI developer now. I develop, let me show you guys this. I develop dashboards like these. This is one of the dashboards that are built for our project management department, right? And this dashboard is loading here. This dashboard is used to track project budgets. This is the project schedule. You can see it has baseline, start, finish, which is when we plan to start it. Currently, how the project is doing, right? Monthly cost, which is how much we plan to spend. This is how much we earned. And value management, which is where we are going to teach the metrics here. So as a project controls analyst, you are building the reports for the project managers. But now I just took it to the next level to build Power BI dashboards, right? Now, a lot of the jobs that are coming out, I've noticed that when you go in and you say that, oh, you know how to read reports on Power BI, it makes you more marketable. So we will introduce you guys to Power BI just so it's something you can have on your resume as well. And as part of this class, we also have a data analytics bootcamp that we do. So as part of this class, we are going to give you guys free access to our Excel and our Power BI courses. Those ones, we've done the classes, the class recordings are there. So you guys can go in there and learn Power BI on your own. If you want to add Power BI development on top of your skills like I did with mine, you can. But the Excel class, we highly recommend that. Even though we are gonna do a quick Excel recap to teach you guys what you need to know for project controls, I highly recommend that when you have time, go take that Excel class that we will give you access to. You will learn so much because you will use Excel a lot in this career field. So we are going to do a final project. We'll write out a full project for you. and you will go through all the processes that we've learned. And that project, if you do it and do it well, I guarantee you it will land you the job. All right. So because that will prove that you understand this. On our website here, we have our full course syllabus here. So if you wanna uh, get a copy for yourself to see what we are gonna do, we have our information here. This will take you to our LinkedIn profiles. This is my LinkedIn profile. So if you go on the from the syllabus is here. And here we talk about each day what we are gonna do. So we are gonna be, like I said, we are gonna do the intro, we are gonna learn the scheduling, we are gonna learn the cost, a lot of P6. You can see P6 here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 class days for P6. And then we are gonna learn the Excel. Then we are gonna use the Excel to get into the cost stuff. So at the end, when we are done doing the final project reviews and everything, our plan is in June, when the class is over, we will make ourselves available. Students can book one-on-one interview sessions with us. This one will be you come in, we host a live interview session with you. We will draw you like you're in a raw interview. You get to answer the questions. I guarantee you, if you participate in this and you become comfortable asking the questions that we're going to ask you, you will have no problem doing well in an interview. Because like I said, I've interviewed at least 100 people in project controls. I know how to make you sweat in an interview. Okay, I don't make people sweat, but for the purpose of this, we will make you sweat just so when you go out there and interview, it's gonna be easy for you. Okay, so that's something that we're gonna do as part of this class. So going back, like I said, you could choose to go learn, take one of these online courses on Plan Academy, which is fine. You can go pay that $1,000 there, or you can come to our class and get everything that I just explained that we're gonna do here. And I know I went over this, but somebody asked again. Yeah, if you go on our website, I mean, if you click on this session, enroll in the program, if you go in, you have the option to pay in full for $1,000, or you can do a 3-month payment plan for $400 a month, which will go at 2,002. So if you pay in full, you save $200. So yeah, that's the. Do you
So
think?
if you bring a student, how much bonus are you getting?
See me in chambers for that, Paul. See me in chambers for that. Referrals, yeah. We will definitely reward referrals. So yeah, see me in chambers for that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All right.
So I have a question. So in this course, you guys would also teach Excel?
so we will do the fundamentals just so you can use it to learn the cost side. But I'll give you guys full access to our Excel class. We have a data analytics bootcamp that we teach Excel in. So I'll give you a full access to the Excel class to learn
Because
that.
that's one of the things that I'm really struggling with right now at work.
Yeah. Because the Excel class, it takes 5 weeks. So, and we're trying to do this in 3 months. So if we decide that we're gonna do a full-blown Excel class as part of this, that means we have to add like 1 month to it. Right.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
when we start, right, and that'll be the plan. When we start here and we are learning all the scheduling stuff here, I'll give you guys access to the Excel class, and I'll recommend that at least you start learning it. But before we get into the course, we will do an Excel session.
Okay.
Good evening, sir. I have
Thank
a
you.
question.
All right, you're welcome.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
So, is the class going to be taken on your website or on Zoom?
Thank you for that. So we take the classes on Microsoft Teams. So when you register, we have a class folder that on our SharePoint where we have the class link. We give access to that class folder. We will send it out latest by Tuesday. And when you go in, you have the link every day. So let me show you guys how it works with a data class here. This is how it's gonna work. Right, when you go in here, this is gonna be a class folder. But if we look at our data one, like the spring one we're doing now, this is the Excel class I'll give you guys access to. If you go in, you will see that each day is here. And when you go in, the class videos that we record and the class notes that we took will be in here. So you will always have access to this, even after the boot camp. We don't take accesses away. If you need to always go back to watch something again because you forgot something, the video will always be there for you. But it will be on Teams, and then we'll record it and save it. So if you show up to the Teams, which we recommend, right, you get to learn. But if you miss a class for whatever reason, you can catch up with the videos.
Okay, so if I
And
want to
how
sign
far-
up, I have to sign up on your website.
Yes.
Oh,
For the
oh,
sign up, so I did put our website in the chat here. For the sign up, if you go on our website here, right? Let me put it again for if you missed it. If you go on our website here,
Go below,
right? And you can either scroll down to this session,
right here.
or
Sign up for
if
the
you
class. It's down.
yeah, if you click on this too, that sign up for bootcamp button here, it will take you here as well. Sign up for the class. If you click here, it will open the sign up for you. Here, you'll be required to put your name and your email and your phone. And if you have any notes you want to add. So that is all the information we need, because we will use your email to provide access to the class folder for you. So don't put in a fake email. All right.
Sorry, I have a question for you guys, please.
All right. So
Please,
Stanley, go ahead.
so what date is the class starting?
The class is starting this week on the 4th. So if you see my syllabus here, we're going to start on the 4th. That's when we're going to do all the introductions. And then next Saturday, we're going to be learning project management fundamentals. So from next Saturday, you'll be getting into project management.
Okay. So I'm gonna send you a message in WhatsApp.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome.
Okay, I have a question. I know you talked about the Power BI that you developed on the dashboard and all of that.
Mhm.
And from what I could see, you had used all those rich filters and all of that. Do you guys have a course on that, or can you point me to somebody who is teaching those courses?
I teach Power BI as well. I'm currently doing a Power BI class. So I'll give everyone access to the Power BI course as well. But I'm pretty sure by the time we finish the bootcamp, I'll have a Power BI class coming up at some point. If you want to join, that's cool. I'm a Power BI developer. I really enjoy using Power BI. So I created this, I created this for a company, and I just took dummy data and put it on it and put it in my website.
Okay.
This is my portfolio website. But yeah, in future I'll have a class coming up. But if you want to learn on
Yeah,
your own,
so
I'll give you access to our class too.
yeah. So my question actually is not directly referring to the Power BI, but it's just on how to create, dashboards with all those rich filters and all of that.
Yeah. I mean, you connect to the data, right? So a tool like
Mm-hmm.
Primavera, where we build the schedules, there's a database built behind it that all the schedule data feeds into the database. So my role as a Power BI developer, because our company, the client we work for, they have about 600 different projects. We have over 50 project controls analysts. There's over 20 project managers. So all that is happening. Now, before I came in as a Power BI developer, what they were doing was all the project controls analysts send their reports. Everybody will send their own report at the end of the month. So it was hard for the managers to take a look at each project one at a time. So my task has been tap into that schedule database, build something that as managers, they can just go on and select a project and see what is happening, right? So I built something like this where it's like, okay, if you go, you can select a project manager. So if I select this project manager, for instance, you can see they have 2 different projects, right? And we can see that this project was supposed to, start in January 2025 and finish in December 2025. It started in December 2024. So they started ahead of time, right? And finished on time. So this is good. And they can see the cost for the project manager too. So the project controls analyst would send report once a month, but it was good for the directors and the CEOs to be able to have a dashboard like this where if they go in and they click on any project manager, right? Like this particular project manager, we can see 2 projects. One was supposed to finish on February 2025, but it finished in May, so it was late. She had another project that was supposed to start in September 2024, but it started in October 2024, which was late. This is their variance, which all the red means is bad, right? So this was built to enhance the project controls, it provide more insights into the project instead of just relying on the monthly reports. But if you get in and you want to do something like this, go for it. I just, I'm a technical person, so I like to do extra. That's why I got into this. But yeah, you don't need this to become a project controls analyst, though.
Yeah.
Did that answer your question, Asa? Sam said, do we teach Microsoft project? So we are not going to learn the Microsoft project as part of this class, but we will do the Primavera. And from my experience, since I knew Primavera, when I had to use Microsoft Project, it was very easy for me because Microsoft Project, it has that Excel interface. So if you know how to, Primavera is the complex one. If you know how to use Primavera and you see Microsoft Project, it's the same terminologies and everything. It just, Microsoft Project is not as complex as Primavera though. So we're not going to teach that, but you shouldn't have any problem using that after learning Primavera.
Yeah, sorry, you answered my question. I was struggling to come off mute.
That's fine.
Yeah. Clement, I have a
Jake,
question.
yeah, hold on, Jake. If there are work opportunities in the UK, that's a research you can do. I've only been to the UK once and I was there for 4 days or so. So I don't know the job market in UK, but go online and search these kind of jobs, right? These kind of jobs that we put up here, go online and search for them, especially like project control specialist, assistant project manager, project coordinator is big as well, and project scheduler is very huge. So go online and search for those type of jobs and, see if they're out there, but it's not, I don't know what happens in UK, right? After the class, do you help with references? Yes. References will definitely provide that. And if you show up every day and you're a good student, I wouldn't mind also giving you a referral. So, yeah. Hussein, was that you asking a question?
Yes. Sorry, I was a bit off, and I want to find out because from what you explained to us, it looks like one need to. That is my understanding, though. One need to get an in-depth understanding or knowledge of Excel. That way, you find a project control and analytics very easy. And my question is that, do you run a program for Excel? I mean, do you have Excel course, as in training in Excel?
Yes. So that's what I mentioned that, but I think you were off that. This particular, so I have an Excel class here. The plan, we thought about teaching Excel as part of this, but that also meant that we had to add a month. But this Excel class that we just finished here, it has like, if you take this course, you will learn everything you need to, because this is Excel for data analytics, right? So you will learn everything you need to know plus data analytics stuff too. So we are going to have one session where we do the Excel fundamentals that we need to at least learn this project controls part. But from the first day of the class, I'll give everyone access to this. So I recommend that when you have time, do some learning here too. I mean, by the time we finish in June, we should have an Excel class coming up. If you want to be in that, I can get you in that Excel class too.
So what
if
is
I
the
understand,
How much
if
is
I
the
understand,
how much
if
is
I
the
understand,
Excel class?
There's a lot of people talking at the same time.
so
No, because you
if I
mentioned
understand
Excel,
what
I
you are
wanted
saying,
to ask you how much was the class.
No, the Excel class we do is part of our data analytics, but if somebody want to do just the Excel, it's like $200. But
Okay.
that's why I mentioned that I'm giving it for you guys as part of this class. So you won't.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
so at the end of this course in June, if I pay another 200, I'll be able to get into this Excel class for 1 month.
Yeah, and if you're a good student, you might get it for free.
I will be.
I mean,
Dr. Paul, you too. You like free things, eh?
what is giving you access is the same class, recorded
Yeah,
class, so you can just learn it.
yeah. But if you
Okay.
wanna like come to the live classes when we start the new one, you can.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Tina, do you have a question?
Yeah,
Or does Ian have a question?
I do.
All right, go ahead. Who was talking? Okay. Hussein, do you have another question? I see your hand up.
yes, I still have another question.
Go ahead.
Now, I heard you saying the class is going to be Wednesdays and then Saturdays.
Yes.
So if some of us pay our schedule, um, if you miss the Wednesday, because Wednesday is class for me, if I should join, I'll not be able to attend. So what will I do if I should be missing the class?
So if you miss Wednesdays, we will record the class. If you can catch up and you don't understand anything, so we are open to meeting. We will set up office hours to meet and answer questions. I would recommend that if before you come into the office hours, catch up with the recording though, so that if you ask specific question that then you're bringing them, because we don't want the one-on-one session to be another full-blown teaching, because that won't be fair to
Oh,
you, right? But
oh,
if you be able to
right,
do,
all right,
yeah, that should work for you.
all right, all right. Thank you.
Yeah. So Jake, with your question, we will set up another one definitely based on how this one goes, right? So we want to go through this one, finish it, be able to get everybody into the job market and all, and then we will decide on the next date for this one. Maybe somewhere in August, because this one is gonna finish in May. Cause I said June, we're gonna open it up to do interview preps for people. So might take off in July and probably start another one in August.
I might have to do Excel for the project management course now.
Yeah.
I have two different classes now.
Right. Ed is here. Ed taught our Excel here, and he did a great job for us. So Ed is our Excel guru. So yeah, thank you, Ed. Yeah, we can get you to do something like that, and this wouldn't be complex like the
Yeah,
data.
I
Yeah.
mean, I did project management back in graduate school,
Ah,
so
that's great.
pretty familiar with almost everything that you've been talking about.
Thank you. Ed is in our data analytics program. He's one of our tutors and partners now too. Ed went through our program and he's doing very well too. So yeah. Thank you. I didn't know you were in here.
Yeah, I always come to support.
Yeah. Thank you. Anybody else have a question? I don't see any more questions in the chat. I don't see any hands up. If you're good, I wouldn't want to hold you guys up for longer, but this will be on YouTube, so I will send the link out for people who couldn't join. I think I have all your emails from the registration. And yeah, we will close the registration on Tuesday. So normally our data class, we open it up a bit. But this one, like I said, Saturday, we are going to start learning all the project management fundamentals. Wednesday, we are going to be installing softwares. I don't want somebody to get in late, because if you miss that project management fundamentals, that's key. Everything that we are going to be learning, we are going to be building up on it. So if you miss the beginning, you can't join later. So Stanley, reach out to me after this. Test me. I think you have my number. And then we can go from there. Okay. Jake, I think we discount because at first it was 1,500 and we reduced it. So we discounted it enough. So yeah. Thank you guys. How do you see project controls evolving with the rise of agile methodologies? Yes, so as part of this, I don't know if I didn't mention it. Did I close it? But as part of the class, we are gonna have one day for agile project management where I'm gonna teach you guys the agile methodologies as well. So because IT projects mostly they do agile. So a big part is the traditional, but we're gonna do agile too. Scrum is the agile methodologies. I mean, if you wanna learn Scrum, but I feel like for me, when I was doing this, when I had to learn Scrum, it was very easy for me. So we are not gonna teach Scrum as part of this. We'll just have that one day that we will go through the agile methodologies. If you want to go like take a Scrum Master certification or something, you can. It's not required for this though. But I feel like agile methodologies, that's all built on project controls. So if you don't understand the fundamentals and you go learn agile, it's like it's not gonna work so well for you. That's what I would say. All right. I don't see any more questions. I don't see any more hands up. Thank you guys for joining. If you have any questions, I'm sure a lot of you have my number to reach out to me on. If you don't have my number on our website here, you can, there's a contact information here. You can message me on WhatsApp. If you click on this all the way to the end of the website, it will send you to my WhatsApp and then you can ask any questions you have. Okay, thank you everyone for joining and staying on throughout this time.
Thank you too.
All right, thank you. Please try to respond quick so that we know what to do if we ask a question.
Yeah, I need to do better.
You can respond, or Fred can respond. I don't know if he goes to him too. I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes there's a lot of messages that come through, so
All right.
I just get to it, but for sure.
Okay, see you guys on is it Wednesday?
Yeah, we'll be sending out the folder tomorrow or Tuesday.
To our emails?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.